So what could I possibly know about immigration? I was born in Mexico, brought to the United States 4 years of age, to a border town called El Paso, Texas. I've lived here the majority of my life except for maybe a year and a half spent in Eugene, Oregon, 10 years old. At least my 10th birthday was when we got there. Got poison ivy, poison oak, don't care, it was horrible, it was miserable. And I've been watching people here in El Paso, Texas. I've been exposed to their ideas, their behaviors, and I'm not going to excuse myself because, like everybody else, I listen to the music, the movies, television, had certain attitudes. But you grow up and you realize that certain things have to be done properly. When you have a business, you administrate it properly or you go out of business. You treat the customer right within reason. I'm not one of these people, the customer is always right, because the customer isn't always right. Sometimes the customer is deadly, violent, aggressive. And when it comes to any issue, even immigration, is how is the country being administrated? Here in the United States of America, the country is administrated under the idea that the government works for the people. I'm going to look it up here while I'm expressing my thoughts. But in the Declaration of Independence, there's a very important phrase that all politicians should keep in mind, even the ones here in El Paso, Texas. So what would be the first thing that I would say about the people of Mexico? Boy, I really cannot think. Hold on here. I gotta do this right. Okay. First thing that I would say is morality and ethics matter. I'm alone right now. Only God can see what I'm doing. And that's ethics. What are you doing when only God can see you? The people of Mexico are under the idea that they have the right to come into the United States. Talk about illegal immigration. They even feel entitled to all things American. And it's because they want to, because they feel special. It has nothing to do with the war between the United States of America and Mexico. It has nothing to do with the Texans struggle for freedom against Mexico. It just has to do with the idea that they're special. And because they're special, they can do what they want. They can run red lights. They can run stop signs. They can drive as fast as they want to drive. They can bring their children over from Mexico into the United States to American schools. They can come when they're got labor pains, no authority to be on American soil, and go to a hospital, a government hospital, have a baby, the baby's American. Take the baby back into Mexico, the baby lives its entire childhood in Mexico, crosses over, visits family, but has the attitudes that come from the country of Mexico. It is very immoral and unethical nation, starting from the president down to the worst drug dealer you can get your hands on. And I've had a lot of conversations with people. See, here's the point. When you're building a society, what kind of people do you want in that society? Do you want liars? Do you want thieves? Do you want people who say, because I want it, I can have it? That's the Mexican. Now, if you look at the American people, there's a lot of immorality, there's a lot of ethical behavior, but this is their country. The United States of America belongs to the natural-born Americans. If you got naturalized, if you have a legal residency passport, you're still a guest. The people of America are allowing you to be here and are bestowing the rights and privileges of being on American soil. We are a rather vulgar group of people all over the world, the human race. The modern human race is a rather vulgar group of people. Our thoughts and ideas are rather negative and disgusting. Because of the influences of the Holy Spirit, I pay attention to me now. I don't pay attention to other people. Now that's hard when people are making my life difficult. But staying on task. So the issue for me on illegal immigration, one is, how do you administrate a nation? The hardworking, productive people of America shouldn't be forced to pay for the lives of Mexicans. People say Mexicans are hard workers. When you come into a country illegally, you literally have no choice. You're not going to go to university. You're not going to become a doctor. You're not going to win the lottery. So the only thing left is work and hard work, hard labor. Labor that Americans will say, yeah, we'll do that work, but you got to pay us $30 an hour. And you got to make sure it's not an unhealthy work environment, a dangerous work environment. The Mexican person will take federal minimum wage, and he doesn't care what environment you put him in. He doesn't care what chemicals you expose him to. Doesn't care if he's going to fall into a machine and die. And that's just an improper administration of the United States of America. Let me see if I can find the... I'm going to read it and get, hopefully, I'm reading from the Declaration of Independence. It says, when in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the cause which impelled them to the separation. These words were written by people who had better morality, better ethics, had a better spirit to life, valued things in life, held things in high regard. We don't. We do not. Let me continue. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by the Creator, God, I put that in there, with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, this is important here, governments are instituted among men. Governments are instituted, men make the government, deriving their powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such a form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. People make their government, and the politicians have forgotten that. When you're working hard, when you're being a responsible person, when you're raising your children properly, when you're getting married and staying married, when you're doing everything right, government does not have the right to steal what you have earned to give it to somebody else. Excuse me, I forgot I'm doing something here. Okay, so that's the first issue. The proper administration of a nation, especially a nation like the United States of America, warrants that those in political office recognize that they work for the people. The people that should be first and foremost in their mind are the hard-working, productive members of society. The hard-working, productive members of society do not owe anybody anything, cannot be forced by government to give their stuff away to somebody else. So that's the first issue with me. The United States of America has a 30 trillion national debt. We didn't do it. They did it. The government people did it. That's not working for the people. That is not a government that is instituted among men deriving their powers from the consent of the governed. That's not that government. That's a government that is working for Satan. That's a government that is working for the cabal of rich people that they have sold their souls to. The second point on immigration. What is the morality and ethics of the people coming to your country? If they are breaking the laws to come into the United States of America, their morality and ethics are very poor. Right now, what you're seeing in the United States of America is a result of a negative attitude. Somehow I got a degree in psychology, somehow I started thinking about issues of life, somehow I started considering, this and that information, and I have come down to the understanding, the conclusion, yes, life is beautiful, and the way to live a healthy life is to incorporate fun in our day-to-day activities. It's to be positive, hopeful, to have good self-esteem through confidence by accomplishing the goals and objectives that we set. And it involves God, the one and only God, the love of the one and only God, the love of the Heavenly Father that wants every person to be safe and secure and to have life and to have it abundantly. That means to be grinning ear to ear in a healthy manner. If you want to have a good life, free of anxiety, free of depression, when you're able to smile, when you're able to sing, when you're able to dance, when you're able to play in a healthy way, you have to be meek. You have to be humble. You have to be kind. You have to be decent. You have to be a pleasant person. You have to be righteous. You have to be pure. You have to be innocent. You have to be everything that is good. That helps you personally. That helps your family. It helps your neighborhood. It helps your society. It helps your city. It helps your county. It helps your state. When you have people who are healthy, who are of good spirit. But we are not healthy people. We're not people of good spirit. I would like to say that the liberals and the Democrats are the only ones who are negative. No. It's all of us. All of us watch that garbage on television. All of us watch that garbage on movies. All of us listen to that garbage music. All of us form those bad attitudes, and that affects society. To have true representation, they really do have to reflect who we are. Are they meek? Are they humble? Are they kind? Are they pure? Are they righteous? Are they innocent, decent, and good? Respectful? If they were, they would recognize that they're there to respect what I earn in life. I don't owe anybody anything. I am a Christian. I do believe in God. I do believe Jesus Christ is the Son of God. I do believe that I had to invite Him into my life in order to receive life after death in heaven, not because I'm worthy of it, not because I deserve it, because God is merciful and grace, and great with grace. My life has meaning. Your life has meaning. You're being a responsible person. You're being a law-abiding citizen. You're doing things the right way. You're raising your children the right way. The people of Mexico steal. When Donald Trump announced his candidacy in 2016, he said that a lot, he didn't say everybody, he said a lot of people who come into the nation illegally, that was his statement, paraphrasing a little bit, are murderers, rapists, and thieves. I was born in Mexico. I live in a border town. I can say yes, sir, absolutely, 100%. They have no respect for law. They have no respect for authority. The Mexican lives by the idea, 90% is statistics. I've had a lot of exposure to people from Mexico. They live by the idea because everybody else is corrupt, they can do what they want. And I'm not going to say that they're the only people, but that's very important, because if you're trying to build a good society, a good nation, then you need people who respect the law, and don't respect the law because it's the law. Respect the law because you understand it helps you and it helps your neighbor. So the first problem with the people from Mexico is they live that ideology. Because everybody else is corrupt, I can do what I want. I can take my neighbor's lawnmower. I can tap into my neighbor's cable. I can take my neighbor farmer's water. He pays for it. I don't care. That's his problem. He's corrupt. That's the attitude of the Mexican. They have a very attitude about they justify their sin, their crimes, by that ideology. America stole land. Now, the first thing is that they feel special. They've been made to feel special by American politicians. The pandering of American politicians has given the attitude to the people of Mexico that they're special. They're above Americans. They have greater morality, greater ethics than the people of the United States of America. So they can come in here illegally, and you better give them the right to be in this country, because they're special. They're more than you are. They are above you. That's their attitude. They have a lot of attitudes, a lot of illegal attitudes. They're very decadent. They're not only on entering a country illegally, the way they live their lives. Now, this is a modern world, and really, what is fornication in this modern world? To have a good life, you have to plan life. You have to know what you're doing, and you have to know why you're doing it. You also have to plan your family. Are you earning enough to be able to give those children everything that they need? You can't just be out there fornicating and, oops, I'm pregnant, let me go to the welfare office. Let me go to the food stamps office. Let me get on government assistance. My husband will work in construction, get paid in cash as unreported income, and I'll have all the government services plus the $500 a week that the man I'm living with is making. So they're living a better life than you are. You're working hard, you're doing everything possible to do everything right, and they're living a better life than you are. And that's important. I happen to believe in what's private sin and what's public sin. Public sin would be having sex in where everybody can see you. Private sin is just having a bunch of lovers in your own bedroom. All of that affects a society. I would tell the people of the United States of America, you do not want Mexicans in your country, because they do not have the right attitudes to contribute to a good nation. And they believe they're justified. And they have a serious hate and animosity for the people of the United States of America. You got to justify your sins somehow. You know you're wrong. They know they're wrong. That's it. The only people who don't know that Mexicans are wrong are crazy liberals. People who support them. I can tell you they commit crimes. They steal. They lie. They lie to the welfare office. They lie to food stamps office. They lie to government housing. What I see here in El Paso, Texas is one person signs the apartment agreement, 20 or 30 move in. Very immoral. They don't care. They'll do what they want to do because they can do it. They have no organization. They don't plan their life. They don't plan their families. They're very decadent people, very immoral people, very unethical people. They don't respect anybody. They don't respect their neighbors. They'll park on their neighbor's grass. They don't care. Everybody's corrupt, therefore they can do whatever they want. And it has a serious cost to society. Fighting illegal immigration costs a lot of money, but also teenage pregnancy that comes out of that. There's a lot of teenage pregnancy in the Mexican culture. And hey, the government's going to pay for it. That's what they've been told all their life. And the people of the United States of America have the right to demand that their government respect their lives and respect their money. Again, let me see if I can find it. To secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. The people build a government that helps them. There's a need for a military because there's always going to be evil. There's always going to be people who want to attack people, hurt people. That's it. Basic services. And it's the basic services that the people of the United States of America wants. That's why the rule of the majority is important. It's not what 10 crazy liberals want. It's what 150 million conservatives want. You just cannot build a system well, the majority works hard for the minority. Everybody has to work hard. Everybody has to be humble. Everybody has to be meek. Everybody has to be pure. Everybody has to be righteous. Everybody has to be innocent. Everybody has to be good. Everybody has to be decent, polite, kind, respectful, pleasant. Everybody has to be positive, hopeful, good self-esteem through confidence. Everybody has to set goals and objectives. Everybody has to love their children and instruct them with wisdom. Help them to understand life for what it really is and how they can manage their way through life. Give them the necessary strength to deal with the challenges of life. And right now we're seeing a total destruction of society because of what I call the slobs, the freaks. Forget another word. And the lazy. We are being overrun by the worst members of society. And those in government are telling us that we have to give our stuff to them. They can do their drugs. They can fornicate and have their babies and live off of the government. No, they're not living off the government. They're living off the people, the taxpayer. You have a government who is influencing radical Marxist ideas, who are supporting members of the United States Congress, members of the current presidency are supporting Marxist ideas. They think they're in charge. They've lost sight of the idea that governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. What do I believe is going to happen? They're not going to reflect. They're not going to say, oh yeah, we're wrong. Let's start writing a budget that will reduce the debt. Let's start respecting hardworking members of society. Oh, should have turned that phone off. That's okay. So, yeah, immigration is wrong. The people of the United States of America have every right not to be forced to pay for the lives of other people. Unfortunately, we're at a stage where those in government have decided that they're going to do what they want to do. And it's because of corporations. It's about their corporate masters. They're slaves to the corporate masters. The corporate masters are telling them, we want to have this. And the corporate masters are motivated by evil. They want to play in any and every way possible. They don't want anybody to stop them. So they tell the politicians what to do. And if you ask me, the only thing that can happen from this point forward is every evil idea that's going to come to their corporate masters' heads, they're going to do. I don't see any pushback. There's supposed to be a demonstration in Washington about the people who have been arrested because of January 6th. January 6th was a setup. January 6th was a way for the Democrats to write laws to enslave people. It wasn't it wasn't what they're saying it was. Excuse me. They did it. They orchestrated it. Those people who you see trashing the Capitol were their people. They let them go. And they arrested other people so you can say, see, these are the people who did it, and these are the people that we need to be afraid of. And now you are afraid. You're afraid of your own government. You're afraid of the FBI. The FBI is now the KGB in Russia, in the old USSR. They'll investigate you. They'll put false charges. They'll throw you into the gulag, and the American people are afraid. They won't demonstrate. That's all I'm hearing is do not go demonstrate. You have to go demonstrate. You have to let them see you. You have to let them know that you're not scared and you're not hiding and you're going to fight back. If you're to have any hope of surviving.